Camera's rolling.
Baby, I'm too young to know any better, but I guess I'm just too old to care. I'm waiting on the morning light to clear the air. Never say it's wrong with regret, letting go that you pay flags. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe. The one that you hated. Take a look at it now. I'm the one that you created. The one that you hated. Never say it's wrong with regret, letting go that you pay flags. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe. The one that you hated. Take a look at it now. I'm the one that you.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Dad Talk Today. We got an important episode coming up, and I just want to give you a hand clap and thank you for being here. I want to tell you this is one of the most important shows that we've done because right now we are facing history with this thing that we call legislation that could really make the issue that we are talking about right here 10 times worse. We know what happens when this type of legislation comes in and it's disguised as a good thing. Really quick, I'll tell you about how to support the show. And yes, while you're hearing this, like, share, subscribe, ding the bell, comment. Who all's in here? If you're watching, can you say something? Can you say, hey, let me know you're here because we need our guys here to fight this. Our country is suffering from something, guys. And before I even get into this conversation, because if you know who I am, for the past 3.5, 4 years, I've done so many political conferences. I've went to all sides of the aisle, including libertarians. It has been predominantly conservatives, GOP, because they talk about fatherlessness and what's going on inside of the home. They talk about the nuclear family and all this. Yet, the same ones that tell us we have their support and that they want to see the nuclear family come together, they want to see more fathers involved, are making some of the most dangerous legislation that I've seen since I've been here. A lot of times these are guys that are blocking legislation that says, fathers, you should have equality and you're not just a paycheck. On the other side of that, let me get on with the Democrats. They suck. They all suck. We are suffering. We talk about parental alienation on this show, guys. This country is suffering from a very, very big case of political alienation. And it works really well for them. As long as I have a certain letter or color by my name, you know what it is I stand for, and they take your vote for granted because you're definitely not going to vote for the other side. They're the evil ones. We're the ones that's going to take up for you. And now we can go do anything we want, and you're not going to pay attention because we know that we've got your vote. We've got you alienated into thinking that we are going to make the laws that is going to protect you and your families. And then bullcrap like what we're going to be talking about today is going to happen. I'm going to tell you, dude, it has came to a time in this country, guys. And let me tell you, if you're watching and you're from somewhere else around the world, it's just as important to you because a lot of these countries follow our legislation. So I would not be surprised if this bullcrap makes it inside the United States of America, if England, Australia, Canada, and all you guys start going through it too. It is crap. And the only way that they can get that through there, look, man, we just went through an election cycle. These were the people that were putting flyers in your mailbox that were sending you automated text messages, bots saying that we need your support. This is evil. You need to donate to me. I'm the one that's going to fight for your families. And then they're going to make legislation that takes your family away from you. They're going to make legislation that's going to take these guys' licenses away from them and put them in jail. Bullcrap, dude. It is time to start pushing back like we never have before. I don't have to be friendly about this because every time we've went and tried to be friendly with you guys and talk about something, you go back and It's like they put the knife in our back, dude. I'm tired of the bullcrap politics. Don't let political alienation get in your lives anymore, guys. We have just looked at this country and, we really gave up hope. You know what? We're going to have to vote for the lesser of two evils, because if they don't belong to one of these parties, they'll never get in. I don't want to waste my vote. I want you guys to start voting on yourself. I want you to start voting on this movement and getting here and get involved so that we can become the force that we need to be. This legislation is about to come in here, and it is dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. And I can't even believe these are people that once upon a time locked eyes with us. I'm going to tell you, I've already been down on the whole political scene. I've been down on the political scene for a while. I went for a while and I was very happy, because let me tell you what politicians do. They're called a politician for a reason. They will tell you everything you want to hear. They'll make you think they're your best friend. It's just like a family law attorney. Oh, yes, this is common sense. Yes, I fight for this. Yes, man, we're going to get in here and we're going to do this. And then you see everything else. And I was already down on it. But, I got invited to another political conference near the end of last year. It was a GOP conference. And the only reason that I went to that, guys, was to get the conversation going with some of these guys about the bill that we're going to be talking about right now. And I've got conversations saved on my phone, some that you even seen at the union address last night, and they're clapping and acting like they're fighting for you. But when I brought up the Unborn Child Support Act, I can't talk about that. I don't know the bill, so I can't really comment on that. Bullcrap. I gave you the outline of what's going on, and you can't touch on it. You want to know why they don't want to touch on it? Because they know what they're trying to do, man. And so we're going to get into it. If you can't tell, I'm a little fired up, and I'm ready, dude. I am ready. I'm ready to get going with this, and I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. So now I'll start off the show. I just had to get off a little bit of steam before we got into it. Down there at the bottom, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo, Dad Talk Today, no spaces if you'd like to support our show. Actually, I do not want no money coming to me right now. I don't want a dime. Don't give me one red penny. I have told you about the John Mass situation. That family needs help, man. They need to be able to fight this case. And if you haven't seen it or you don't know what's going on, I Stand With John on YouTube will tell you everything you need to know. They've got a case going, and that's where right now, until I can raise that money, instead of supporting this show, I want you to support that fight, support that family, because they need it. Okay, so let me just take that part out of it. At the same time, there is subscriptions, memberships, and super chats over there on YouTube. We got the same thing over on Facebook, guys, and it helps us do what we are doing. If you would like to get a shirt, if you'd like to get a cup, I got a lot of cool merchandise that's coming up. Check out the shop on dadtalktoday.com. That website's got some cool stuff coming, man. 2023, guys, is the most exciting year that I've had since I've been in Dad Talk. By far. We've got more media projects. We've got more things coming out. The book's almost done, and I can't wait for you to just even see the cover of that book. It will tell you everything that you need to know about family court. But let's get to today's subject. The Unborn Child Support Act. Why am I so ticked off about this Unborn Child Support Act? Well, obviously, the Roe v. Wade, abortion is an issue that is so controversial. Okay. And both of those letters beside their name and their colors tell you where they stand on that. I have my thoughts on that, and I'll leave them to myself. At the same time, I believe in protecting children. And you can't tell me that you're protecting children with abortion when you're making legislation like this that rips children out of their family's arms, guys. You just can't do it. It is hypocritical, and it shows what it's about. It's all about money. You know what, dude? I'm looking at that counter right there. I see you guys watching. Did you like this broadcast? Did you share it? Did you comment? I said, let's say, hey, let's get in here. I need you. I need you now more than ever. I need everybody to know about this. Imagine you're somebody that says, you know what? I went through my child support battle a long time ago. I've got nothing to worry about. Well, guess what? There's a retroactive order on this. You could have 9 months of child support come at you all at once without you knowing, because we're going to go back for it. Well, who makes money off of that? Who makes money off of that? Think about it. There is more ways that they can get money, and they've got to look to broken families. They've got to look to our taxpayers, our hard workers, our dads, our moms, our grandmas, our grandpas, and all these people, and find ways to break up those families so that they can get money back from it and get their bonuses and pay their government employees, because they suck so bad at using our tax dollars that our country is going down the crapper, dude. That's what's going on. It's another way that we can suck money out of it. And at the same time, look, we're saying that you can't have abortion, okay? But at the same time, in order to make up for this, we're going to protect women and children. And you know how we're going to do that? By automatically assuming he's a deadbeat. That 9 months that you spent while you was pregnant, we're going to make him pay for it. And we'll go back, even retroactive. Say, you know, it's been going for a while. At the same time, when that hits you guys, what happens when somebody gets in arrears? Could you imagine out of nowhere, 9 months of child support, bam, is sitting there on your table? If you go in arrears, you'll lose your license. And for the guys that have to go to work and that have to pay this bull crap, what's going to happen if they don't have their license and they can't go to work? Well, if you don't pay it, guess what happens? You're going to go to jail. That's what's coming down the pike, guys. And these bills, every one of them are written a little bit different, called something a little bit different, but it's something that the GOP is pushing all across the country right now to make up for the Roe v. Wade thing. And it's like, hey, we'll make up for it. We'll make sure they're supported. Bullcrap, man. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Isn't that what Ronald Reagan said? I believe he was one of the true GOP, because that's one of the most realist statements I've ever heard. Here's the government saying, hey, we're here to help. And in order to do this, we're going to screw fathers and we're going to make money on in the process, right? While they give you a smile and tell you, I care about the nuclear family. I'm fighting against evil. Dude, we've got to get rid of this political alienation, guys. If you ask me, political parties should be completely abolished, right? We shouldn't be voting upon the color that somebody's got beside their name or what letter. Tell me, what do you stand for? And if you just sound like a puppet and you're saying what everybody else is saying, I don't want to vote for you because you're not real. You've got something that's rehearsed. Do you see this right here? I don't have no papers in front of me. I'm not rehearsing. You know why I can do that? You know why it comes out so naturally? Because I care about families. I care about this country. I care about the future generation. And if you guys did, you would actually get involved and stand out and be different. But I blame us, guys. We have taken it for granted. And then you'll have the people, oh, just don't vote. Well, that's just a great thing. It sucks, so just don't do anything. Bullcrap, man. We got to start pushing back on this, guys. You understand? Let's do it. All right, I'm going to bring this up, and we're going to go through it. It's very confusing for me as well. Not going to lie to you. The Unborn Child Support Act. Let's go. This was July 19th of 2022. This is on CBS News. GOP lawmakers want would-be fathers to pay child support from conception. Republican lawmakers have a new proposal after the Supreme Court in June overturned Roe v. Wade. Prospective fathers should be on the hook for paying child support from the moment of conception. The new bill, introduced on July 13th in both the Senate and the House, is called the Unborn Child Support Act and would amend the Social Security Act to give mothers the ability to receive child support payments while they are pregnant, according to a statement from Senator Kevin Cramer, a Republican from North Dakota. Remember that thing we call Title 4D of the Social Security Act? Here we go. Are you paying attention to me yet? Get your coffee. Listen, guys, get busy. Make sure this is getting out there. I'm reading it straight to you. The proposal comes as roughly 24 states are restricting abortion access in the wake of Supreme Court's June decision, striking down the 50-year-old precedent set through Roe v. Wade. Support programs for pregnant women and women with newborn children are lacking in many of the states that are restricting abortion. That includes the 8 states that opted out of the Medicaid expansion under the Affordable Care Act, which covers pregnancy through postpartum for low-income Americans. That sparked criticism from Democrats and people who support reproductive rights, who note that banning abortion will force women to carry a child, blah, blah, blah. I'm not talking about that. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to get down here. Mothers should be able to access child support payments as soon as she is supporting a child, Kramer said in a statement. He added, fathers have obligations, financial and otherwise, during pregnancy. Although it's unclear whether the bill has any chance of moving forward in Congress, arguments over the status of a fetus reveal the complex new legal landscape around reproductive rights. For instance, earlier this month, a pregnant Texas woman who was pulled over for driving in a high occupancy vehicle lane argued that her unborn baby should count as a second person, citing the Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade ruling. Don't really care about all that. I don't think they really care about people getting support when they're pregnant. Mississippi Reproductive Freedom Fund co-founder Lori Bertram Roberts told the Mississippi Free Press, I think their goal is to get personhood language in the bill. The bill would work by amending the Social Security Act. Oh, there's our buzzwords for today. Social Security Act. Did you hear it again? The bill would work by amending the Social Security Act, which requires the states to manage a public child support system that oversees issues such as determining paternity and collecting child support. Under the proposal, a court could award child support payments prior to birth and retroactively at the point of conception, as determined by a doctor, according to the statement. It also wouldn't require women to ask for child support if they don't want the prospective father's involvement. Paternity tests would be up to the prospective mother. They don't have to do a paternity test. This bill is co-sponsored by a number of Republican lawmakers, including Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee and Marco Rubio of Florida. I feel so dirty right now, dude. You want to know why? I've looked her in the eyes before, shaking hands, took pictures. I feel so dirty. Look at what that's going. You see, tagline, Social Security Act, child support. We're going to have to amend this. Don't have to take a paternity test, but it could be retroactive. And because they're not saying, if your case was over years ago, then, that's not going to count towards you. Retroactive means retroactive. We can go back and say that that's what this is going to be. This is going on in multiple states. Marco Rubio's out of Florida. Kramer's up there in North Dakota. I forget where Blackburn's at. She can stay there. But down in Texas, we got Congressman Jeff Leach that just put it on there too. Ooh, maybe I should. Let me do this before we go. Have you seen the one by Jeff Leach? Unborn. Yeah. Leach, I'm talking about you. I am not kidding. All right, let's see. I'm gonna find it. How do you guys feel about this type of legislation? I know I am just completely lit up about it. But in that process, guys, this is what's going on. And you know why I'm so pissed off about it? It's because I need you guys to help. I need you guys to help. If this movement sits here stagnating, don't be emailing me saying, hey, man, I need you doing this. Hey, man, you need to be telling my story. Hey, the system's crooked. I need you to hear what I'm doing. I am telling you right now, because you know what what's going to happen when that legislation comes through, and whole influx of more emails. Hey, man, they went and got me retroactively. Hey, man, they did this. I need your help. If you really cared about it, you'd be doing this. I am talking to you ahead of time. Ahead of time. Anonymous user. Florida is the one state I can think of that actually takes parenting seriously and wants people to parent their kids so much that they push 50-50. I am going to tell you why I absolutely disagree with that, anonymous user. Okay? I know the history there. Shared parenting, 50-50 legislation has went through the House and the Senate with bipartisan support 3 times in the state of Florida in the last 10 years. We just had it last year. And there was 2 more times under Governor Rick Scott that all he had to do was say the House, the Senate ruled in the majority that they want to see this legislation go through. Let me sign it. And he vetoed it twice. Ron DeSantis vetoed it last year. And the one with DeSantis, I wish he would have talked to us, man. I talked to one of his cabinet members and I told him about Title 4D and a lot of this stuff. I got that on my phone too. And he said, man, I didn't know any of the stuff that you was just telling me. And that's where the movement doesn't organize. Guess what happens if we got somebody that might have good intentions, that if they heard the truth might do something? If we aren't there talking to them, guess who is? The ones that's got the money, the ones that can organize, that can pay lobbyists and everything to make sure it stays that way. Last year, that bill was attached with a alimony bill, a lifetime alimony bill. Nobody should be able to live off of somebody for the rest of their life that they say, I don't love anymore. I don't want to be with them. But as long as I don't get remarried, I can get this astronomical paycheck. Why in the world? That's something I'm going to have to ask you there, Mr. DeSantis. Why in the world would you say that's a good thing? Now, he ruled the reason that he vetoed it is it was unconstitutional to go back and undo orders which a judge had placed. It was unconstitutional to do the bullshit in the first place. Come on now. Florida got the fatherhood bill going. There was a lot of people that celebrated that. What does that do? It helps them get better jobs. Does it help them get any access to their kids? Not from what I've seen. But guess what? If fathers have better jobs, who benefits off of that? Anonymous. If he's got a better job and makes more money, he can pay more in child support because it's based off a percentage of his paycheck. But we gave millions of dollars to help them with that. Yeah, right. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Every time the government gets inside of your homes, inside of your wallets, inside of your tax money, this is what happens. We didn't get $30 trillion in debt because we got competent legislators, guys. We got there because we have been blinded. We've been bamboozled. We've had this political alienation going on, and we just live our daily lives. I can't think about that. I've got a home. I got a family. I got bills to pay, and we just let them keep doing it, and we let them take us for granted. No different than this movement. How many of you are agreeing with what I'm saying? But when it comes down, how many people are involved in making sure that people know about this bill right now? I'm not seeing it. We need you. We need you. Or else this is nothing. It's nothing, man. This is going on, again, all across the country. I believe it is a big push by the GOP. Let me say something. I am conservative at heart. Do I promote or believe in the current status quo in the establishment? Absolutely not. I believe in conservative values is what I'm saying. I believe in the nuclear family. I believe in limited government. And there's a lot of things. I love my country. There's a lot of things out there, except they are not what they claim to be. You got puppets, man. What you got is a bunch of puppets. What we saw last night on that screen was political theater. It was. Who remembers the last time we had something like that? Nancy Pelosi gets up there, rips the papers. It's political theater. You don't think that made ratings? You know, he's up there talking to the guy in the back. It's not true. It's not true. It makes ratings, guys. They have made a episode or like a mini series on our country's politics. And what's happening is your families are getting screwed. And then stuff like this comes up. You honestly think for 1 second that somebody that could do stuff like this has your best interest at heart? Do you honestly think that, I don't care what party it is, if they're not addressing what's going on in CPS, seeing all these kids that are dying, knowing that this government service that people are reporting that your kids, you Americans, the ones that's paying the taxes to run these damn places in the first place, it's your tax dollars that are funding these organizations called protection services that people are reporting the trouble to their kids and they are dying. Dude, we got to end the charades, man. We have got to end these charades. I'd invite any single Marco Rubio, Blackburn, Leach, Kramer, anybody in the GOP. If I'm wrong, come sit and talk to me about it. You know, we have to say it over and over. Well, look, dude, Anonymous. Democrats have historically pushed stuff to make people dependent of the government, and it's interesting how Republican states have better custody laws. Get divorced in a red state. Dude, that's bullcrap. Georgia is a red state. Let me tell you something. I've been there. I'm not just saying this. I'm telling you, both sides suck, right? I go from one of these political conferences interviewing the biggest names in the GOP. I come back. It was Republicans that were blocking the 50-50 legislation here in Georgia. It was a Democrat that picked it up, and that's doing it again. You know what's crazy about her doing that? Nobody asked her to do it. Now, I don't believe in a lot of this stuff that the far left pushes, not by any means. But when it comes to that issue, I have to sit back and say, can I not support somebody that I see that's doing the right thing because of the letter and the color by their name? That's not me, man. Jasmine Clark, they're in Georgia. Thank you. Thank you. When all of them had their offices closed and wouldn't let me in, Jasmine did. Dude, that week before, Dr. Ben Carson, Jim Jordan, you name it. I interviewed them all. Mike Lindell. Then I go to my state house in Georgia. Nothing. It's a red state. Look, dude, Florida, deep red state. Shared parenting got vetoed how many times? You want to get me on the state of Texas? Texas is a red state. They have way higher of a national average of dads that are fighting and not getting custody than anybody else. They make more Title 4D money than anybody else. And why is that, Anonymous? Whether it's blue, whether it's red, I do believe there are some good America First candidates out there that want to do the right thing. They are in the minority, and a lot of times they don't get into office because they are fought by the establishment. But a good majority of that red and blue that's supposed to be representing you are attorneys. They are attorneys. We are looking at 94% of dads end up without custody in the state of Texas. The national average is 82.5 to 80% of the time. Red state. But look what's going on. Florida, same thing. Alabama, their laws suck. Dude, again, political alienation. As long as I got this color on it, something's going to happen. These are guys that will sit there and have the conversation that we're having right now. You're right. You're right. But you never see them act upon it. It's political theater, man. I mean, it really is political theater. You know when the last time we had a president in the United States that didn't belong to a political party was? Does anybody know the answer to that question? Sip some coffee while I'm waiting on it. I don't see him. He's on your $1 bill. George Washington. The only one. And he warned about those. He warned about those. No, JFK was blue, but he was a good Democrat. There's a reason why we don't have JFK. I feel in my heart. I believe there is a reason that we don't have JFK anymore. He wanted to get rid of that Federal Reserve, allegedly. I don't want to get caught talking conspiracy on here. We have the Federal Reserve. We can print money without having anything to back it. They can literally just vote on these bills and keep printing out money. And guys, think about that. When these guys that are supposed to make $100,000 or $200,000 a year, and they're in there for 2 to 4 years, and then after they get out of office, they're sitting with millions and millions of dollars. Does that not make you raise the people's eyebrow? Come on, man. You think it's hard to talk about parental alienation and talking to somebody about what's going on, like arguing with your ex? Wait until we start talking political alienation, or you start talking about how these teams watch the comments on social media. Somebody that nobody knows can show up, see a comment with somebody that's on the opposite side, and they will become mortal enemies because they got to protect their side. And you are the problem with everything. You know what? That works really well for the media. Works really well for politics too, because they don't have to do anything of substance to get your vote because they've already got it. And the more that we suffer from that alienation, the worse it's going to get because you're blinded to legislation like this. You know, I was very big in my support to the party. I was, man. Every conservative conference, I was there interviewing, doing everything we can. Nice, good tone, dressed up, everything. Please. There's families that are breaking apart. Can I talk to you? Can I interview you? I want these guys to see me talking to you so that they know there is hope. I want them to hear you saying you want to do something about it. And we did. Go look on Dad Talk. I got tons of them. The who's who of that party. They're on there with Dad Talk. Whatever happened after those conversations, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. You want to make it in politics nowadays? If there's anybody that likes politics, you want me to tell you how you do it? Show up, dress nice, take pictures with every politician you can, make yourself look important, grow your social media, and people will believe your hoopla. It's politics for you. Most of the people that these guys fight tooth and nail for have no idea who these guys are behind the scenes. None. And this just proves it right here, man. This proves it. Why would you make legislation like this? And listen, this isn't saying that dads don't want to pay child support. But you're wanting to go and get even more child support. The child support system is broken. You say that, well, the child needs to be taken care of. Mom literally can spend it on anything she wants. And then if you bring up, well, can I get a receipt of what she's spending on my child? Oh, no, she's got to have a house. She's got to have a car. Well, she can go pick any house. She can go pick any car, and I'm supposed to provide for it. She split up with me, dude. Now she's got a new man in the house. My child's calling him daddy, but I'm the one that's paying the money for him to be daddy. You're a deadbeat. Stop talking about that. You're making it about money. Shame, shame, shame on you, dads. We got to protect our women and children. You're being wrong when you speak up about that. They've got to be taken care of. We could care less if you've got a house or a car or any money to eat on or anything like that. Nah, you got to go support this. And you got to sit back. And then when you come in the courthouse or when you talk about us, how dare you if you show any bit of emotion? How dare you if you look pissed off? How dare you if you call us out for anything that we do? You're making it about money. It's not about you, Dad. It's about the kid. Every bit of this legislation, every bit of what's going on is to take the spotlight off of how bad you dads are getting screwed. You hear me? You dads are getting screwed in family court. I've heard every conversation in the book. Anytime you tell somebody's story, well, he should have chose better. Really? Your first words out of your mouth is going to be, he should have chose better, rather than saying, oh man, she shouldn't have been cheating on you. Oh man, she shouldn't have been taking the money. Oh man, she should have been taking care of the kid. Oh man, all these little things that you could have said, and I'm sorry that you had to go through this. Man, well, you should have chose better. It's your fault, Dad. It's always Dad's fault. Always. And they need it that way because if we make dads look important, you know why they don't want child support receipts? Because if we show how much money is being spent on the child and what it takes to actually raise a child, these astronomical amounts where we've based it off a percentage of the paycheck would come way down. It's like, oh, we know it doesn't take as much to raise a child as what we're asking. But if we do that, we lose that Title IV money. It's what it is, dude. Don't kid yourself. Why would you get mad at a dad for saying, I am busting my ass, I am doing without, I'm trying to fight for my kid, I've paid the attorneys, I've went to the court and everything, and I want to know that if I'm sending my money that you're telling me I got to send, that it's going to be spent on my kid. Judge, she's coming in raggedy clothes. Look, man, my kid's sick. They're not being taken care of. I see her out at the club all the time doing all these things. Where's my money going? Can you please tell me, is my kid being taken care of? How dare you, dads, say that you demand or want to know where that money's going? We tell you how much money you're going to give. We tell you how often you're going to see those kids. And I'll be damned if you're going to ask us what the money's going towards. You've became ATMs for that government. You've heard of the Federal Reserve? You dads are the parental reserve. They're printing that money off of you, dude. They need it. They can just keep printing it because they know as long as there's relationships, there's this thing called life. We wouldn't be born if men and women weren't getting together and making life. And guess what? They know good and well that there's going to be arguments and people aren't going to stay together. Hell, half of your legislation is probably divorced. But that's an opportunity. That's an opportunity to take that conflict and make some money off of it. Title 40 of the Social Security Act. No fault divorce. Section 8. Look at this legislation. We're years later, guys, and then this kind of crap keeps creeping up. They go and get in a fight with the other side, but in order to keep our women voters, in order to make it look like we're doing better, we're going to shit on dads. That's what they're doing. We're going to crap all over dads. That's how we're going to make back that money and make it right for you. For any of the dads that's in the legislation, the GOP, that would look at bills like this, you got no heart, man. And I wish they would actually listen to these conversations. And you know, I've been told, don't talk about that too much. Don't talk about dads. Don't talk about the money. Don't talk about this. How the hell are they going to hear what we've got to say if we are afraid to get on these damn microphones and say it? I'm saying it to you right now. I have a reason to be angry. And if I'm lying, before you go put out smear articles on me, let me show you who Eric Carroll is and what he's doing. No, I want you to talk about the subject matter here and how you are failing families. Because that's the way that you can make me look like an idiot. Tell me where I'm wrong. You don't have to like me as a person, but tell me where I'm wrong. That's what it is. Again, political theater. If somebody starts calling it out, let's show people who this guy is, and then they'll go and find any way they can to take away your voice. That's how politics works, because they know they can't answer this. Here is the crazy thing about it, guys. Okay? We have the research. We have the research. And even as much as they try to keep the thumb down on making sure this message gets out, anytime there's research that comes out, guess what it shows? You dads are getting screwed. When it comes to domestic violence, guess what it shows? You men are getting screwed. Okay? When it comes to government assistance, and if you need some help, you dads are getting screwed. They can only get it if you're not there. Go ahead. Go ahead. Am I challenging your morals? Because I talked about your team. I talked about your color. I give a crap about the color or the letter by your name. If you're a dad, if you're an American and you believe in families, you need to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And a lot of you have fallen and you don't know how to get back up. Wake up. Wake up. Come on, man. You guys, do you hear me right now? I still say, are you like it, share it, subscribe, comment, get this out. If you're here, I need your help. If you're here, we need you. This message is too important. And as much as there might be censorship, and I get kicked off of this show every once in a while, let me tell you something. We've got a gift right now. We've been trying this for years, and it's never going to happen. We've got something now, guys, that we never had before. We have an alternative form of media. We don't have to have a mainstream media in order to get the word out there. How powerful can a podcast be? It says a lot about how much our mainstream media sucks and how much people are fed up with it when all of the news agencies almost combined can't pull as many people as a Joe Rogan. And he's on there talking about psychedelics and all these other conversations that people have never heard before, but it's not rehearsed. It's not bought. It's not paid for. And what you see is what you get. We wake up, get in here, and for once say, man, we're going to do this. We can make sure bullcrap legislation like this doesn't go in. They attacked masculinity for a reason. They'll attack these type of emotions for a reason. And you want to know why? Because us men, we are the protectors. Us men are more than just providers. We are the protectors. We love our kids. We want to raise our kids just as much as the moms. And when you mess with our family, that's when you see just how much we actually love our kids. And if we can get these guys that are broken and beaten down and thinks that's never going to change to get in here, realize we have that alternate form of media and that we can do something about it. Watch what masculinity can do. Come on now. Come on. Masculinity, men, we can do this. Has anybody told you that lately? When's the last time you've been told? It seems like we're sitting back. Oh, God, here it comes. Here comes this legislation. This is what's about to happen. I'm giving up. Don't give up, man. Get in here. Fight. Fight for your rights. If you talk about masculinity and the importance of father's rights, show me how much it means to you by getting off your ass and doing something. It's time. You don't even have to leave your house, wherever you're at. If you're watching this on your phone or wherever, you can become a part of this solution. There's no excuses, guys. There's no excuses. I have to believe that if everybody knew what these bills do, the bullcrap that the government is trying to do with these bills, that America would be angry. And they would say, back off. You think that they are in control. We the people are. There is a reason why we left England over there and came over to America, to have our freedom, to take control of our country, and to say we want what's right, and we're going to be about the people. We the people. When did we give the government control of our families, guys? We need to get back to the heart of why America was made in the first place. And when bullcrap like that comes through here, nah, buddy, you got another thing coming. You got that Judas Priest song, man. Bop that fist. You've got another thing coming. Get the hell out of my yard. This is my family. You need to back out of my marriage. You need to get out of my money. You're already getting your tax money. Learn how to spend it wisely and actually do something, and learn how to make this place a better place to live and to get all that money back down, because you guys suck at what you're doing. You suck so bad at what you're doing that you need this money from these families. Come on. It's the way I do it, man. I don't talk like this all day long, okay? I'm just so frustrated. Do you know what it was like, the sleepless nights, dude? Wearing the freaking, look, I got my Walmart shoes on right now. That's who I am. I got my beard going on right now. I ain't trying to be nothing but who I am. I'm not trying to act fake on here or make you think I'm on. No, dude, you're going to see masculinity. You're going to see what happens when dads get pushed. That's the way I'm going to talk to you right now. But the times that I had to wear those dress shoes and those hot ass suits, even in the middle of the summertime, to get out there and play politics with some of you guys that acted like you cared about these families. And then when I turn your back or I turn around and I walk away, it's like, how can we make more money from it? They're catching on to us. Make sure you don't contact this guy back. That's what they're doing, man. Man, I haven't even drank all of my coffee, guys. You know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. If you can feel it, head's getting a little bit more clear. I've been in the gym past month every morning when I'm starting out on a diet. I got some exciting stuff going on, and I can really tell a difference, because we got to start learning to take care of ourselves. And at the same time, I think the reason that this message has been so suppressed is we felt so broken and beaten down. If we're not getting enough views this day, that the message isn't important enough, and you forget what you're fighting for because it just seems so hopeless. Dude, I don't care if I'm just David. If I got to go fight Goliath and the Philistines by myself, man, put me out there. I'm ready. I am ready, damn it. You hear me? But I would love to have you guys with me. We went all the way up to the president. I got to go to the political conferences, the fundraisers, you name it. We can get access to these guys, but you know the one thing that I didn't have when I went there, and I wish if I had it to do all over again, I would have done this different. I didn't have you guys' support. We've got to grow the movement or it means nothing. Nothing. We can share this podcast a couple of times. What's that going to do in the grand scheme of things? I don't know that it's going to do much. But if everybody gets organized and knows when these messages come up, when this legislation comes up, there's organizations, there's newsletters and stuff coming out that says, this is what it's about to do with you guys. This is what it's about to do to your families. You can share it out. Tag these politicians in these messages and say no. Can you do me a favor really quick? You want to tag them? Let's get Mr. Marco Rubio. Let's get Senator Kevin Cramer, Marsha Blackburn. Let's get Mr. Jeff Leach in here. I invite every single one of you to this show. Come and sit down right here beside me. I'll sit beside you, or we can do it by Zoom. I'll give you every opportunity to tell us why this is good for the GOP, why this is good for our families, because I know what the incentives do behind the scenes. I know about Title 4D. I know about that crap. I'm not going to be jaded. You're not going to take my vote for granted. You're not going to get me to shut up. This is bullcrap, man. Where you messed up. Remember that Judas Priest thing? You got another thing coming. You guys got something you got to worry about when this stuff comes out now that you didn't have before in the past. It's called Dad Talk. I'm ready to call you out. We tried to do it the friendly way. Now it's time to pull back, show everybody the Wizard of Oz and say this. Dude, I was bamboozled. I honestly thought going and doing this route was going to get us somewhere. The blisters wore down on the feet, the money spent with the airplanes and the hotel tickets and the rental cars and the gas and the food and having to get people there, buying the banners and the cameras so that we can sit down and have conversations with people who lie through their freaking teeth. You damn right, I'm pissed off. GOP, you claim you want to be limited government, then why in the hell are you making stuff like here where it's more government? And then you know what they'll tell you? Let me tell you one of the common things. Anytime we involve government, it messes it up. So this shared parenting stuff, child support, parental alienation, these false allegations and stuff, we probably need to leave it alone. Yes, it's messed up, but if we put more government in it, we're going to mess it up even more. What is this doing? Laying down more government in it. And the only reason you're going to do it now is because it benefits you. Which one of these guys are actually backing legislation that takes money out of their pockets? I'll wait. Because they're not. I've seen some of the other bills going through there. I think you can get some of these bills in there as long as it doesn't take money out of the pockets. It's not about father's rights. It's not about parental rights. It's about how much they can charge you for your God-given rights, man. Think about that. In the United States of America, I pledge allegiance to the flag for liberty and justice for all. How much can I make this guy right here pay for the child that he brought into this world? How much can I make him pay just because he went through a divorce? Yeah, you know what? We shouldn't take all of his retirement. Yeah, you know, we shouldn't take his house. We shouldn't take all that, but we can. Let's do it. Do you like that, guys? How does it feel? You should feel broken, beaten, bruised, because I know I do. I've had several people try to shame me for not believing in this system or wanting to go through the court system. I know what that court system is about. I know what it's about. Don't try to get me to buy into the bullcrap, man. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But it's people that want you in there, because guess what happens once you start going through the system? You get crippled. I'm going to give you this financial statement. This is everything I've worked for. I sacrifice time with my family. I sacrifice what I like to do, my passions and everything, to go make this money for my family that I now got to go give to this attorney and I've got to go give to this judge. And you know how every penny that I've got, so you know what you can bleed out of these families. And then once they do that, man, you need to settle. You need every other weekend. You need once a month. Oh, yes, dude, you guys should be pissed off. There is nothing unique about the crap that we're seeing right now. There is nothing unique. Your situation, I love you, guy. That's why we're here. I guarantee you we'll get tons of messages today. Eric, this is my case. This is my case. Get down there in the comments and start talking to your brothers. I need more time on this microphone. I need more time with those projects because I am going with a strategy now. And you know what my strategy is? I'm not going to politician. I'm not going to mainstream media. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going back to the people. Give me your stories. Let's make sure we get it out there. There is an alternate form of media. We can show people what you're going through. I'm not going to be able to tell everybody's stories, but I got a few. Let me show you how they failed these kids. Let me show you how they failed these dads that lost their lives. And if we can get these stories out, guys, the vast majority of people have no idea what Title 4D is until they've done got screwed. And then they find themselves in these groups looking for some help because they're going out of their minds. Could you imagine if the country actually knew what was going on with Title 4D? I have to believe most people would be just as upset as we are right now. They would. They would. Why the passion today? Why this? Oh, you're screaming. You're acting angry. I am angry. Because I need you guys. Your families need you. GOP, how in the world could you push some bullcrap like this, man? I cannot believe in a party that does something like this. I can't. I've even heard where some of the guys, most loyal GOP supporters ever, like, I can't vote for him anymore. Because they're the ones, the establishment broke me down. Oh, man, but you don't need to do that. You know who you're up against, man. Look, if that person gets in there, it's going to be dangerous. Well, aren't you dangerous enough? Stop voting for the lesser of two evils, guys, and start voting on yourself. Start believing that this movement can actually get somewhere. Can we do that for once? Believe that it can actually happen. I know you guys have the passion and the determination and wanting to see it happen. But it doesn't happen until you stand up and you insert yourself inside of the solution. And if you can't show up to the capitals, you can't show up wherever that these rallies that people think a lot of dads are going to show up and then they have to work that day, you can show up here. If you can't show up in the morning when we're doing this show, show up at nighttime. If you know somebody, the second you hear that somebody's going through these issues, let me tell you about Dad Talk today. I want you to get in there and subscribe and ding the bell because you are not uncommon. Your story sucks right now. I know you're dealing with pain, but how would it make you feel to know that there is millions going through the same thing, but because of the way they've done this system and because of the way they broke you down, you don't know that. Bring them in here because you know who these dads go to a lot of times trying to counsel with, guys. Attorneys. They go to attorneys. And that attorney act like your best friend. I'm so sorry. This is horrible. I can help you. I can help you. Tell me all about it. $400 an hour, but tell me all about it. I'm here for you. You want to sit down beside me? I'll listen to you. Really quick before we get started with that session, let me get that financial statement. I need to see. Oh, we're going to need this for the case. I need to see how much you got in there. Okay. Now you can talk to me. Tell me anything you want. I'll just sit here. You need somebody to listen to you. I'm listening. Tick, 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 tick. Money, 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 money. They are not your counselors. You understand? Yeah. Thank you, Jeremy. Yeah. A lot of us did. A lot of us did. I spent more money on consultations than anything, dude. Just to hear, like the biggest thing you hear is like, what are my options? This big retainer? 10,000 on retainer. That's just to get started, dude. It's just to get started. You know, there was many times in my life going through some of those darkest moments, man, losing my family, broken, beaten down, feeling like I was all alone, self-esteem this big. Didn't even know how I was going to wake up or get to work the next day. I had absolutely no clue how I was going to survive. And those were the moments that I laid there, even though Preacher Son was never too much of a religious guy. That's another conversation. They say don't talk about politics or religion. Well, I messed up on one of them with the politics, but there was times when I sat there, I was so depressed. I was trying anything I could. And I would think, God, I lost everything that ever meant something to me. I've worked as hard as I could to make money to support this family that I just lost. Now every bit of it's being taken away from me. Why did you bring me on this earth to make me go through this? I was mad at him. Did you really, like, if you say you is, was, and always will be, and you are the creator, why did you create me to have this pain that makes me feel like I just don't even want to be here anymore? Why did you do that? This is cruel. Why? And dude, I didn't have those once. I didn't have them twice. I had them all the time. I still have them sometimes, if I'm being honest. The only difference is when I talk to you guys, I say, I get it now. I get it. So when going back through this and realizing the David versus Goliath scenario, just being a normal working class dad, wanting to get his kid and seeing the business that it was, back then I didn't get it. But now as I sit here on this microphone with you, confident, ready to tell them no more of the bull crap, you've got another thing coming, I get it now. I see what the industry's about. I see what you're doing. I see what you expect from these dads. I see how the government profits off the very thing they're supposed to be protecting, and I'm pissed off. Who else is? Are you pissed off today, guys? And yes, I am talking to you. I am talking to you on the other side of that screen that's going through these issues. I know all you want to do is get in here into these comments. This is what's going on with me. This is what's going on with me. You're going to continue going through that, guy, and your kids might continue going through that a little bit later on if you don't do what we're talking about right now. I'm talking to you. Step outside of your own story for a second to realize when you do this, you're still fighting for your story. You're still fighting for your kid, but you're going after the main issue. Let me tell you something. There's so many people that want to treat symptoms. This is why I can't sit there and talk about stories all day, guys. I can't. They want to treat the symptoms, the individual cases, without curing the disease. I want the cure. The family courts need to be completely broken down and rebuilt. CPS, I would say the same thing for you. Needs to be completely broken down and our politics too. This political system needs to be completely broken down and rebuilt. We need to get back to voting for people because of what they stand for and what they believe in. Enough of the alienation, dude. Enough of it. Political alienation, parental alienation, and it's all about that dollar, dude. I hate money so much, man. You know, you need it. You need it to live. You need it to fight. But that's the one thing, dude. Once we die, we can't take that crap with us. I can't take this studio with me. I don't need the big house. I don't need the flashy cars or anything like that because I know what I'm doing right here is the most valuable thing outside of being with my family that I'm ever going to do. Because I hope today, after that passion and them emotions and these words that I'm speaking into this microphone for years and years and years from now is still going to reach the ears and hearts of people that know what we are talking about. It will live on way after I'm gone. And I can only pray, dude, that day comes before I leave this earth. You know, I ask myself that all the time. Like, will it ever happen? What if I died tomorrow? I want to see that moment. You guys want to see it? What a glorious day that will be, man. It will. In essence, I'm going to give you the moral of the story that I gave you today. These bills are dangerous, and they all suck. That's it. Please, let people know that these bills are coming. I wish we saw more passion like that inside of every one of you. We need it. Let me tell you something. When you sit down with dads whose kids have passed away, or that were murdered. The same with parents. You realize how serious this gets. When I was there in person, standing over John's casket, I wasn't here on a microphone looking at a computer. I was in real life looking down at the consequence of this broken system. People don't realize the seriousness of this. We need you now. Now. And I promise you, do you hear every day that this goes by, the message is getting a little bit more. That's what we're going to keep doing, man. That's what we're going to keep doing. Guys, love you. Appreciate you. I'm going to put that link in there one more time. It's one of the biggest favors you could ever do for me. I'm not going to lie. I have been stressed to the max because I really want to see this goal happen for John Mast. I'm putting the GoFundMe link down there in the comments. That is a very ambitious goal. I know it is. And that sounds like a lot of money. Hell, that sounds like a lot of money for this organization to even be able to do what we do on a yearly basis. That's a lot of money. But when it comes to the courts, that is pennies. Pennies. And they need what they need to fight. And we're in a part where they need to go to the courts. There needs to be justice for John Mast. So I'm not even going to read you out the Patreon or the Venmos. No, go there. In those comments, 100% of that goes to the Mast family. 100%. I don't send 1 red cent to the podcast right now. I'm not asking anybody for money. Just not. If you want to get your gear to sport it, that would be cool. DadTalkToday.com. Go check out the shop and get your gear, get your shirts, wear it proud. Wear it loud and proud, guys. Be glad to be dad. Be glad to be in this fight. Stop looking down on it like it's the little engine that could. It's never going to happen. These guys are never going to get along. This isn't ever going to organize. Stop looking at it like that. Stop. Change yourself, man. If we want to change the laws, if we want to change the movement, if we want to get progress, the only thing holding us back from that, I'm not going to be that guy no more. Carnell said, change the program to measure success by maximum number of kids. Help to see both parents where possible in active prosecution for false accusations and perjury. Dude, there's a lot of stuff that they could do with this legislation to make it good. And I guess the problem that I'm having with the legislation right now is they're not that stupid. They're not. And I know it's a battle and you got to have strategy and stuff. I'm just going to call it for what it is. I hope you guys are okay with that. I ain't playing with them no more. I ain't got time for it. I'm sick of it. And I get afraid every morning when I wake up what story we're going to hear next. I'm going to tell you, legislation in the courts, a lot of that is on your hands. A lot of it. I've got a character that's going to be introduced on Dad Talk very soon. I think you guys are going to like this. I'm telling you, man, so many creative ideas that are going on. And you know what? It's been an honor to be able to come on and talk with you guys every day and to be able to do what I'm doing now. I think every day that we get to do it, the better we're getting. I apologize about yesterday losing the internet. Whole phone company had to come out yesterday. For some reason, I have a trouble spot, but we're rolling again. But it really is an honor to fight for this movement. And I understand I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I don't claim, you don't have to be, or I don't have to be. I know what we're fighting for, man. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. If you don't like me, start your own thing, you know, but make it about the end goal and not yourself, not the little bitter problems. Guys, the family is the focus. And unless we come in numbers, you see what's happening. That legislation, it's coming. I've warned you. I have warned you. Don't let it become reality. Don't. I've invited every single one of you legislators to the podcast. I do the same thing with the Texas Family Law Foundation, the Bresnans. I'd love to have you on here. I'll be nice. I'll even buy you pizza. I'll have it delivered to your house. They tried to give me pizza at the state house that day when we was doing the legislation. I am not one to turn down pizza. That's the only pizza I've ever said, no, sir. But I'll even buy you a pizza. Bring you on here. Let's talk. Let's do some dad talk. We're going to do it again tomorrow. Love you guys. See you next time. Hey everybody, Eric Carroll here. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of Dad Talk Today. While we fight for you, we would ask for you to please help fight for us. Like, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell so you get notifications every time we go live. There's also Super Chats, patreon.com/dadtalktoday, and other ways you can support our channel. Thank you for being here, and we will see you.